Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show with your host, Anthony Sain. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain. Here with my guy, man, Kenny Stubblefield in the building. Kenny, what's going on, my guy?
My brother, I missed you last week, man.
Who you telling, man? Who you telling, man?
Man, shout out to Rusty. Shout out to Rusty for helping out. But, man, it did not feel right at 2 p.m. to not be on air.
Not to be rocking with my boy, man. Yeah, Rusty did a good job. Had a ghost producer on one day, man. A little ugly dude. Ugly dude.
Oh,
head.
Little
I wasn't no ugly dude.
Beard looking.
Right, we had a ghost producer, man, to not be named. Know who that ghost producer was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we are here today. Had some computer issues last week, man. I'm still kind of jacked up because I'm typically logged in under the actual Bluff City Media account. I'm under my personal account, so I can't see nothing. I can't see the stats. I can't see nothing. I'm just on.
It might actually be helpful because we've been having to boot and ban people off of the comment section all day today.
Well, the comments still, I can see the comments, but I can't see like how many people logged in, all that type of stuff.
Can we just put a can we just be today? Can we just promise today? We got a special guest on today, one of our favorite dudes to come on the show. Can we just please not talk about Bobo today? Can we please?
Yeah, can we just not talk about Bobo? Bobo will get you banned. Just let you know.
Bobo will get you banned.
Bobo will get you banned.
What? Hey, but before, listen, bro. I know we got to bring our guest on, but whoa, what is this hair like?
Oh man, they weren't ready for it, bro. They weren't ready for it, man.
I mean, bro, I feel like you're back in like your 20s, time period.
Hey,
What's
it's
going
back,
on?
bro. It's back, man. The F-boy fade is back. I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. Julia went out of town this weekend.
Yeah.
And with her girls. And y'all, like we talked about last week, I don't know if y'all caught the Easter egg, man. I talked about, you know what I'm saying, the women who in a healthy relationship post selfies, right? You know, so that was the whole. She said, "But look at me like, yeah, you about to mess up bad.
You about to mess up real bad."
So she went out of town, bro. So I said, I was just for the match her energy, bro. She went out of town on a little girls trip, knowing I don't play that little girl trip stuff, man. So you know, had to just go get the haircut and sit on the attachments while she was out of town, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't see if Damichael's in the thing or not.
Damichael is here, baby.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I had to go and get it chopped up, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know. Thing is, bro, I enjoyed having the braids. Had the braids going on 3 years. Julia was my personal braid stylist. She is a licensed natural hairstylist. So I did enjoy having my head between her knees for years. Getting my hair braided. But it's odd, man, because you would think that if my lady is the hair braider, I'd be able to get it done, you know, whenever. But because of our, hey, we in entrepreneur mode, man. We got a nonprofit. We trying to get out the ground. And we really just we just don't cross each other's paths the way we need to.
Right.
I work at night a lot, and so I was like, "Look, baby, look, I'm tired of asking you to stay up to braid my hair."
Yep. She's tired of staying up. She's tired of staying up to braid you. Yeah.
Yeah. She's I'm sitting up here kind of my brain kind of occupied.
I'm gonna need Julia to leave the room, please.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So but yeah, so I had to go and bring the F-boy job back, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, man. Listen, looks good.
Speaking of L-boys, though, man, my guy, Damichael Cole, joined us today.
What? The ghost of Damichael Cole.
Live from FedEx Forum.
What is going on here? The ghost of Damichael Cole, man. What?
What's going on,
hey,
fellas?
Man, it's bad.
What is going on, man? Clean your camera, bro.
I mean, man, I don't know what's going on.
Hey, that man on no resolution. That low resolution. I thought I was having camera problem. That brother looking super hazy. Hey, you might know him for being a beat writer of the Memphis Grizzlies. You might know him from Locked On Grizzlies, the #1 Grizzlies podcast in the world, man.
#1 Grizzlies podcast in the world.
For real. Like you talk about consistent numbers, but them folk been rolling 3,000-4,000 a show for a minute, bro. You know what I'm saying? With no clickbait, no nothing. Just hey, we finna talk.
I do want to ask you, Damichael, does this look familiar? Does this look familiar to you?
What I'm looking for. What I'm looking for.
I'm here with my guy, Damichael.
I'm here with my guy.
Oh man. Oh man.
We're gonna talk about. The Grizzlies traded Jay Huff for 2 second-round picks.
I don't know.
Hey, man, my guy been figuring it out. He said he figured out how to move the camera back now, though.
I don't even know how he does it. I don't know how he's possible to even do that. What he's doing.
Look. He said he got it figured out now. So I'm.
Hey, man, what's going on with you, man?
Michael,
you looking like
Damichael. Here's the
blacked out on the screen, bro.
Man, look, I'm not at the crib right now, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man.
Hey, bro, this man looking like the Century for that Marvel movie.
Hey,
man, Damichael, you look good,
bro. Man, my boy, man. Hey, this is my guy, bro. Hey,
it's vacation time, man. I'm getting ready to head to Vegas next, so I'm on the move, man. I'm on the move right now.
When I found out Damichael was from Memphis, when I first met Damichael, I swear I checked the shit out of this man in our initial conversation. And we've been boys ever since then, man, for real. Hey, cause I heard it was from Memphis, so we just came out checking. Hey, it's been my dog ever since then, bro. My guy, what's up?
They said I'm on the MCS Wi-Fi.
Hey, what? Man,
they got MCS Wi-Fi. You used to just have to get by, man.
They got StreamYard banned on your Wi-Fi, bro. For real, like the school used to ban YouTube. Yeah, man. That's my guy, though. Damichael Cole's in the building. Michael, let's get to it, man. A lot of stuff going on with the Memphis Grizzlies. We are deep into the offseason, man. We kicked this thing off with the Desmond Bane trade, and have been kind of trickling in moves. A little bit here and there for the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll talk about the transactions later, but let's talk Summer League in the first segment of the show. What are your thoughts on the team so far? Some things that have stood out to me, of course, is been Jaylen Wells play. G.G. Jackson looking like he's been refreshed, been renewed. A lot of positive comments coming from them. But a big thing that I've noticed is you can kind of see the fingerprint of Tomas Isolo on this team already with their style of play. A lot of attacking, point of attack defense. Like, there seems to be a heavy emphasis on making the point guard and the opposing team really have to work just to do his thing. What are your thoughts on what you've seen and just overall in Summer League so far in just one game? And then we'll hop into some of the specifics later on.
Yeah, the thing for me when it comes to Summer League is I'm always interested in not just the raw numbers. Like, quite frankly, like, for example, when it comes to someone like G.G. Jackson, I don't care if he scores 20 points every single game. I want to see the other areas of his game that kept him off the floor. G.G.'s scoring didn't keep him off the floor last season. I want to see how he's progressed as a rebound. I want to see how he's progressed as a playmaker, how he's progressed as a defender. Those are the areas that I'm more paying attention to as it pertains to him. Cam Spencer, what are the areas of his game that could help him get on the floor? He can go out here and shoot 50% from three-point range in Summer League. The Grizzlies knew he can do that. So it's the other areas of their game, other than their biggest strength, so to speak, that I want to see growth, because that's what Summer League's for. That's why Jaylen Wells, if you look at him, he's kind of being put, in different positions a little bit. We see, with the shot making. And to your point on the defense, like, I think that's kind of like a Grizzlies organizational thing more than Isolo himself. I mean, if you go back to last summer, they were doing the same thing. Scottie Pippen Jr., those guys were hounding defensively as well. But in particular with Scottie Pippen Jr., when I was talking to him last summer about it, what you would notice is Scottie basically said something like how Summer League, the defense he played in Summer League, kind of from a confidence standpoint, and then early in the regular season, it translated. And then it eventually led to him, being the guy. A lot of times when Jaylen Wells would go out of the game, you see Scottie Pippen Jr. guarding like Kevin Durant. And players like that, because he was the next best trusted defender that the Grizzlies had. So I think the defense is, what Jaylen Wells is doing, and that isn't really surprising. But that's kind of what the Grizzlies are trying to build themselves at. You saw what they did in the draft with the guys that they brought in. And that's for the rookies and, Javon Small. We'll see Jammal Mashack here sometime soon. Like, as for those guys, it's more about what they can do over a bigger body of work. Like, I like Javon Small in this first game. So let's see, especially as a point guard, right? You got to learn the spots. You got to learn how to get guys involved here and there and all of that. But overall, I mean, it was a solid showing. GG played well. Jaylen Wells played good, and then Cam Spencer had some really good moments too. So that's something that you can build off of, and I want to see that continue, particularly in the areas that aren't their biggest strengths.
When you look at the whole Cedric Coward situation, right? I'm glad I remember this. I didn't have this in my notes, but I remember somebody asked this, and it made me wonder the same thing. We did not see Cedric Coward playing. We knew he wasn't going to be playing because of the injury. Why is he not there? Like, why are we not seeing him on the bench or anything with the team? Is that a rehab thing? What's going on with him?
Yeah, I haven't got out there yet, so I'm really not sure. I've been expecting to see him there and at least working out, because the thing is he's still able to do work. Like, he's not that far behind the rest of these guys. It's just more so of them kind of getting him to the point of handling contact. Playing through contact, getting in 5-on-5, and the best place for him to get that is Summer League. So I haven't found out exactly why he isn't there yet, but I get there in a couple of days, so I'm definitely gonna try to look into that.
How does we've seen this before in Summer League when it comes down to guys who had a good rookie season, looking like a totally different player in Summer League, like taking that leap or whatever, right? And we've seen that in Jaylen Wells. But what I said this on Twitter yesterday, something I'm enjoying about watching Jaylen Wells, and shout out to Coach Isolo again, is that it's not we gave the ball to Jaylen and he's running the offense and he's playing on the ball. He's playing similar to what his role would be if there was a John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., these guys on the court. He's playing a role player's role and still find a way to score 20 points, play the defense, hit the mid-range shot, hit the three-pointer. What are your thoughts on that as far as that approach and him still showing, like, you can see, he's looking like a much better player, but he's not doing something. He's doing something that'll be relatable to the season. It's not like, because he won't be that guy for the Grizzlies.
My thing is, when you look at it like that, when people talk about when guys get in Summer League and they play expanded roles and bigger roles, I love to see that, but it doesn't have to be something that you're not going to see in the regular season. Like like we're talking about Jaylen Wells, we saw a couple situations where he got a couple. He was the ball handler in pick and roll, but it wasn't like the entire game. Like we saw with Zaire Williams, and it's like, man, they're just forcing him to play this role that you're barely going to see. Him play when it comes to the Grizzlies. Now, I get the thinking with some of it because, like Desmond Bane, they did the same thing.
Right.
It kind of, now when you become
downhill dance was born.
Exactly. Exactly. So, look, I do think the best version of Jaylen Wells is someone who's more comfortable in playmaking situations and can be a player who's not just standing in the corner, shooting three-pointers, making layups, and then playing defense. There's more to his game than that. He's 6'7". He's going to be really, y'all see he looks bigger. Like, he's going to be really strong eventually. And he has a solid mid-range game. He came into the league with that. So this is a guy who has 3-level scoring potential. So you want to put him in some situations where he can kind of show a little bit more of that. But I'm with you. When you talk about the regular season, the ball's going to be in John Morant's hands a lot. It's going to be in Jaren Jackson Jr.'s hands a lot. But guess what? The other thing is Desmond Bane ain't here anymore. So the ball could be in his hands a little bit more than what we've seen last season. So I do think it's a good opportunity to, as you said, kind of make sure he's playing a role that we can look at and break down this film and show him this film as something that we'll see from him in the regular season. But at the same time, I feel like it's okay to, give the guys a little bit more wiggle room to do a little bit more that you probably wouldn't do in the regular season as much, to kind of see, how their games grow. I don't think a lot of people thought Desmond Bane would be a 5-assist guy when you watched him as a rookie, but when they threw him out there in Summer League and then his second year he got those, the reps that he did, it made sense.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something that stands out about his game, about Wells' game.
Yeah.
Mentally, he's a very unique player because he kind of comes off like a psycho, bro. If you just want to be real about it, because it's like he doesn't talk shit. He's not really braggadocious at all. He looks like just a kid, just a gym rat, comes in the gym, just a basketball robot.
Yeah.
But there's a psycho in him that wants to be this incredible player. Like, whether he gives you signs of it, or he leaks part of it. His daddy come out and say it. The kid's a psycho. Like, if you really think about it, bro, he's a psycho. Like, in his head, because he said, I've got some goals. I don't want to say what they are because y'all may think I'm crazy. And it's so crazy, bro, because we had Fred Wells on this show this time last year.
Yep.
He was telling us about his kid. He was like, man, all right, that was cool. That's cute. Thank you, Mr. Wells. Welcome to Memphis.
No, what he said.
He was trying to tell you.
Yeah.
No, what he said was, we were talking about it. We asked Mr. Wells, we were like, Are you excited to have Marcus Smart on this team so Jaylen can learn?
That was his second interview, but go ahead. Say
and
that.
he said, literally said, he's the guy that we're going to take his spot by the end of the year.
He said, "Oh, we've identified him as a guy we're going to take his spot." I was like, "Wait, bro, wait."
What?
But was he wrong?
No, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, what are your goals for Jaylen?" He was like, "Rookie of the year." I was like, "All right, that's cute, but be quiet." But he was freaking third place in Rookie of the year. Like, I mean, what are we talking about, bro? Like, I mean, so I know in this kid's head, he's probably thinking first team all defense. I guarantee you, he's thinking like MIP first team all defense. And I'm not the one who's going to say that kid can't do it, because if he's baby Mikal Bridges, why is that not what we're talking about with him? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's something about him I think really stands out, because he literally has the mind of a psycho. We haven't had that. I mean, we've had like obvious psychos like Tony Allen, but we ain't had nobody that's like
silent with it.
Serial spiller.
And that's
we
him
had a
all
serial
the
spiller
time.
in a long time.
It's not like he gets on the court and you know how dudes have like this off the court personality and on the court personality. To me, watching him, he's like similar. Like off the court, he's still kind of quiet and a little reserved and doesn't really say too much. But on the court, he's the same way. Like I only can think of a couple moments where he responded to quote unquote trash talk. And both of them were not verbal. It was just with hand motions and things like that. Like he never said anything. Bro. I think it was one bench. Sometimes when guys shoot the ball, you'll get somebody. My mama might be watching, so I'm gonna say H now. Yeah. You'll get somebody from the opposing bench be like H now or something like that.
Yeah.
And then one time it was the Lakers, and Jaylen Wells was shooting the corner 3-pointer. He turns back to the bench. And he points back at him with a little 3-point gesture. And I was talking to him after the game. I was like, were you doing that at the bench, or you was just doing the celebration because you always do when you make threes? It's like, no, that was for them. And his little quiet.
Hey, that man crazy, bro. That dude is crazy. Hey, Jaylen Wells one of them dudes that keep a sharp butter knife on him.
A sharp butter knife?
Not a real blade, but a sharp butter knife.
A sharp butter knife.
For real though, man. Hey, bro. Hey, I like having them type of dudes on my team, bro.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me he ain't a maniac. For real. But speaking of that, we've seen Jaylen Wells the hooper. We've seen Jaylen Wells, the possible serious spiller as well. But there's another version that Gigi Jackson brought to our attention. Gigi Jackson looked at him as a role model, if I'm not mistaken. That wasn't his exact words. Yeah. But Gigi Jackson did speak about the impact that Jaylen Wells has had on his game. Said he's got a grown man aura. And I personally got excited because I'm a guy who I said if Gigi's gonna be here, I'm pulling for Gigi big time. I want Gigi to be a success on this team. And hearing him look like he's got a guy he's connecting with, and that Wells is becoming that type of guy. I'm telling you, man, Wells is who we thought Shane Battier was. Yeah, I think he's a tremendous player for this team, not on and off the court.
Yeah,
and I think he could be a guy that could connect a lot of things. I think he's a guy that will gain more respect from the John Morant's, Jaren Jackson Jr.'s on this team, the Kentavious Caldwell Popes on this team, and I also think he can be a bridge for the younger guys and probably more immature guys like a Gigi Jackson, Cedric Coward as well. So
I have
a
question real quick. I saw during the first game, there was a timeout and they had the camera on the huddle. This is Isolo and the rest of the coaching staff were out, putting together a play or something like that before they came into the huddle. And it was Gigi, it was Jaylen, it was Cam, it was all the guys. And they were all just kind of standing there staring at each other, just looking at each other, nobody talking, anything like that. Is that something that we can ever expect? That like Jaylen's clearly the guy on that team. He's the guy that's played the 74 games, 74 starts last year in the NBA. Yeah. Is the natural leader for this summer league team. Will we ever see him talk in a huddle? Will we ever see him be a leader in the huddle like that moving forward?
Man, I mean, I think it'll gradually come for him as he gets years in. When you think about one, there's different types of leaderships. Some guys are like Desmond Bane walked in immediately, very vocal guy. There are certain guys, Derrick Rose, you could make an argument he's just as powerful as a leader as anyone on the Grizzlies in the last couple seasons. But Derrick Rose didn't say too much. They used to say, we want you to talk more. Derrick Rose was more, I'm going to show you. That's kind of the sense I get more with Jaylen Wells. Like, you're going to look at him as a leader because you're going to see the work that he puts in, and you're going to see how he do it, and you're going to see the repetitiveness and the consistency that he brings, and it's going to motivate you. You know, like Gigi called it grown man aura. I think that's kind of
seriously.
That's kind of some of what he was alluding to. Like, you know, he's not come over there tickling you like, man, hitting you on the back of the head, like, get it together, man. Nothing like that. It might just be a look he gives you. Like, you know, you just messed up. Like, come on, let's go. Just giving you a look. And it's different types of leaderships. And when it comes to Jaylen Wells, I mean, maybe that's something that he grows more into, but I haven't really got that sense that he's going to be that guy where you say, oh, he's the most vocal guy, you know, in the huddles and things like that. But he's that guy, you know. I could definitely see when the Grizzlies are coming out in the first quarter and they look real sluggish, and then he says, you know what, I'm about to pick up 94 feet and change the tone with my play. He's that type of guy, and that's what you see from a, you know, like a Kawhi Leonard, so to speak. Like, you don't see Kawhi Leonard in the huddle, you know, smacking guys around and pushing them around and things like that. But what you see is, you know, when the play gets bad, you know, he ups his aggressiveness a little bit, and he kind of, you know, like just the other players kind of thrive off of it.
I've had several off the record conversations with you, Damichael, over the last few months talking about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one subject I've been sitting on. I said, no, I'm gonna wait till I got to get my boy on the show to talk about this.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies have Jammal Mashack, who makes his debut probably tonight since that deal was done.
Yeah.
I'm saying, hey, I've never had this much conviction or give a damn about a late second round pick ever in the history of the Grizzlies. And I'm the guy who I was down for Jamal Franklin. I can tell you a lot, Josh Selby, what's my guy? Murder T. Roden. I can tell you a lot of guys I didn't rock with that was, you know, that were lowly heralded guys, right? But this Jammal Mashack kid, if this ain't Lou Dort, man, tell me I'm wrong. And I know you a UT guy.
Yeah.
You a UT Volunteer fan. You will put. Nobody makes me madder that I have notifications cut on for than Damichael Cole, who puts out these tweets of celebration. And I'm thinking we didn't trade it for Michael Jordan or something. And he's talking about UT football or some crap. But anyway, with that being said, Damichael, you would know Jammal Mashack better than anybody in this area who's talking about him.
For 4 years, yeah.
Tell me about him, man. Should I calm down my enthusiasm, or do we go get Lou Dort? Like, what do we do, bro?
Man, number one is, like, I always have to remind myself that the NBA and college basketball are two different games. And like, there's so big of a difference between them. You usually see, like, offensively with guards in particular, like, guards don't have as much room offensively in college. And then you see with the Kentucky guards a lot because they've had so many good ones. And they go to the league and they're like, man, all this space. Yeah. And boom, they start averaging 22, 23 points. You're like, man, he was averaging 11 points a game. Like Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickly, those guys were like
Devin Booker, bro.
Yeah, Devin Booker. Yeah. Like, but switching it around to the defensive end with Jammal, man, I mean, his progression, like, this is a real dog story right here. I mean, he was a decent recruit. Like, he was a top 100 player, I think top 75, all that stuff. But year one, he's basically just barely playing. In year two, he kind of gets this role as like energizer, defender off the bench. Yeah. Year three, it's like, okay, this is probably the best defender on the team, but we got better offensive players that we need to put in the lineup right now. Then year four, he's the captain, he's the heart and soul, and he was pretty much personified what Rick Barnes wanted that team to be. But I mean, when you want to talk about his game defensively, the one thing that stands out to me more than anything else, I mean, everyone's going to talk about the on-ball defense and stuff like that, but I'm going to tell you right now, because again, what I just talked about was the transition to the NBA. I'm looking at what is the skills that translate to the NBA the easiest. His ability to navigate screens is Drew Holiday-like.
Ooh.
I don't throw out those star players stuff like that just regularly, but you watch when you see the Zubacks and the Steven Adams and all those, like, some of them are going to get him, but watch his ability. Like, summer league, he's about to run through most of these dudes. Like, his ability to say, you're not screening me. If this is my man, this is who I'm guarding, it ain't nothing you can do about it. He's one of those type dudes. Like, Drew Holiday was real special with that. And his ability to navigate through screens and stay locked on an opponent. You know, he can trail behind guys and still impact the play defensively. He's special as a defender. And I get your conviction with him as a second-round pick because a lot of times my strategy, my mindset on second round picks is you got to find a guy who has an elite skill. They're in the second round because they're not elite players, quote unquote. But you got to find a guy who has an elite skill. Gigi Jackson was arguably the best scorer in his original draft class. Coming out of high school before, so I felt like that was an elite skill for him, and you talk about the Cam Spencers and Jaylen Wells coming through the draft prospects. These guys were two of the best shooters in the draft. We found out about Jaylen Wells' defense eventually. He was one of the best shooters in the draft, on the board. In the case of Jammal Mashack, that defense is going to translate regardless. And he has the confidence as a shooter. You're asking me as a shooter, I don't know what to expect from at the in the league, because what he said was at UT, I didn't get a lot of volume, volume of shots. And that's true. I mean, because the last couple of years he played with Chaz Lanier and Dalton Connect. Offense runs through those dudes. And Rick Barnes naturally he's been an inside-out coach. The ball's got to touch the post before it touches the basket. And so traditionally speaking, his guards aren't 20-point per game guys. So there is the potential for us to look back in 6 months and be like, man, we didn't know, he could shoot the ball that well, or whatever the case may be. I don't expect him to be some all-world guy offensively, but at the end of the day, when you're
can it be Lou Dort, man?
Yeah, Lou Dort is a simple role. It's knock down threes, right? You remember
and play elite level defense and knock him down, because Lou got to the point he was not a shooter at first, bro.
No, they used to leave him open. Remember that Rocket series? They embarrassed him.
Yeah, he started being a cheat code when he started being knocked that three.
Listen, I watched a lot of college basketball this year, and unfortunately, Tennessee was all over my airwaves all year. So I watched a lot of Tennessee. Can't avoid them. It's frustrating, but I couldn't avoid them. So I saw a lot of Jammal Mashack. That kid, I think, form-wise, technique-wise, he is already a better. It's not broken. He's got a Lou Dort's shot is. Let's be frank, is kind of broken. It goes in, but Jamai is going to come in, and he's going to be a guy that you give him reps and you give him time to get acclimated to the speed, especially on offense. I could see him being a knockdown three-point shooter and an elite defender in the NBA.
He just got to be decent. If he could shoot 36.5% on three-pointers consistently, give you a 38 every now and then over a season, you won. You won. I don't think, especially with the team that he's going to be on, you got John Moran in the backcourt. You got a guy like Jaylen Wells. He could have the ability to be, real game changing with his defensive ability.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions coming in, and I wanted to bring one up for you. Some of them have to do around Vince Williams and Jammal Mashack.
Yeah.
First question: will Vince Williams make the roster? The second question is Mashack Vince Williams' replacement?
I think Vince Williams will make the roster, and I've had some talks with some people around. Look, man, hear me out.
Go ahead, bro. I'm listening to you, bro. Go ahead.
Because you were a Vince guy not too long ago.
I am a Vince guy right now, but it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. Yep.
Now let me say this. I do think that when Vince was saying towards the end of the season that he wasn't 100% healthy, he was 80%.
He ain't lying.
I know this for a fact. I talked to some people around him, and I got some more details on his situation. And the fact is, over the course of this summer, he's done some things to his body that will lead them to believe that when the season starts back, he'll be 100% and be able to do some of the things that made him go from a player on a two-way contract, second-round pick that nobody really was paying attention to a guy who people were saying is the next really good Grizzlies defender. So I think he
Super Soldier Serum.
Yeah. I think he makes the roster. Now, it is a numbers game. It is a numbers game, but the numbers game to me is the problem at other positions other than the wings. I think they're trying to crowd the roster, for lack of better words, with two-way wings. If it ain't a two-way player, we can talk about his long-term longevity on this roster. If it's a two-way player, I think they're pretty safe. You've seen Zach Kleiman hint at it and talk around it a few times about the OKC Thunder team that won the championship this past season.
Wings on wings.
Celtics. Yeah. You could look at those teams and say, man, they had too many wings. Look at OKC. That's their whole roster. Pretty much. They had two bigs. Isaiah Hartenstein.
No point guards on the roster.
No, it's straight wings on the roster. Like, and wings are kind of like the prize in today's league. So I don't think it would be wise to move off of Vince Williams just yet, knowing that I'm sure the Grizzlies have way more intel than I do about him getting back closer to 100%. And if that's the case, I mean, you got him on a cheap contract. There's no reason to really offload him yet. If the potential to be good is still there. Big
facts. Well, we're about to take a break, y'all. Put your questions for Damichael in the comments. We're gonna bring my boy back for the second part of the show. Like I said, drop your questions for Damichael. We're gonna run through some of those. I see some good ones in the chat already. Go and drop them in there while we're in this commercial break, so we can get those to my guy Damichael. We'll be back with more on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderlin Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
Well, that's a pretty good answer. The correct answer is the Grizzlies will be better if Ja plays 70 games. We can talk all we want about who's going to play where and who's going to get the minutes, and Jaylen's minutes and Coward's minutes, and KCP, is he starting? Is he coming off the bench? And is Scotty the backup point guard? And Ty Jerome, what sort of role is he going to have? And can he be really big for us? And, how's Brandon Clark? We can talk all of that stuff. What matters for this team's success is that Ja Morant's playing 70 games. Period.
Well, you know what? I can tell you this much. I want to argue with you, but I can't argue with you. The team is still built around him being great and available, and Jaren being great and available.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Got my guy Damichael Cole in the building, man. Gonna take some of y'all questions. Let my guy get back to this day. So a lot of good questions in the comments as well, man.
Tons of questions.
We're just gonna roll off of these joints. Can you throw them up and let my guy jump to them, man?
Yeah, Chris wants to know thoughts on the Cole Anthony situation, man. What the hell is going on?
Man, initially when they got Cole Anthony, the first thing that popped out to me is the redundancy, right, at the point guard position. Scottie Pippen Jr., you already got a guy who's more of a scoring guard, who can, do a little facilitating, but naturally known more, came into the league as a scoring guard. Same thing with Cole Anthony. And it's a numbers game, like you just pointed out. And with the numbers, we've been talking about it. You guys have been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. As it pertains to Jaren Jackson Jr., that situation has had to find a resolution.
The biggest number to talk about is this.
Exactly. And there were only two real plausible options that made the most sense in order to get into that number with Jaren. And it was Cole Anthony or John Conchar. And with John Conchar, talked about it pretty much, I don't know how long now. Like, clearly it isn't easy to trade John Conchar because it's something
at all
that it's something that we talked about for a couple years at this point. Whereas with Cole Anthony, it's a bigger contract. It's one you could, reach a possible buyout. I thought he has a tradable contract, depending on where and what you want to attach to it and all those things. And maybe the Grizzlies are at the point where we don't really want to attach many of our assets going forward just to move off of a guy. But I think at the end of the day, I never really saw a role for him on this team. I know some people probably were like, oh, is this another, scoring guard off the bench you could add to the equation, but never really made sense. And then when you factor in Ty Jerome, then
yeah. But I guess my question is, Damichael, I don't think anybody really expects Cole to be on the team at the start of the season. The question is, what's the move? Are they looking to attach his contract to a bigger trade, like let's say like for a big center that can start at the beginning of the year, or are they going to stretch and wave? Like what?
I mean, I think the buyout is what's inevitably probably going to happen, but as you can tell by the timeline now, they are still, or they have been, looking at other options, right? Like, okay, you're going to try to get a trade done and potentially move off of the contract that way. But the contingency here is if you can't move off the contract through a trade or something like that, then you got to buy it out because you got to get Jaren his money. But I think the buyout is the easiest, most plausible route here, and it's probably what's going to end up happening.
What do you is doing that the only way? Because I've had people say, well, they can just keep Cole Anthony until the season starts and try to find a real trade for him during the season, or save him as a trade piece. Or can they do John Conchar? Can they do the same thing with John to get the same money, or does it have to be? It has to be.
Cole Anthony is a $13 million contract.
Yeah, right. So that free up like $9 million, right?
That's pretty much twice what John Conchar is making. So it's a wide discrepancy with the number there. But if you just move off of John Conchar's contract, I think you could get close to what they're paying, what they want to pay Jaren. It hasn't been signed as of now. So what they want to pay Jaren. But yeah. So I think that's kind of the easiest way to go about it. Like is moving the Cole Anthony contract, getting to the buyout number. He'll be able to recruit, as we've seen with these other discussions with these buyouts. The route with the buyouts that most teams are going is we want to basically take off the money that you could go get on the open market. Mm-hmm. And if the Grizzlies are able to do that, then they should be fine.
Real quick, man. I know we got questions. Real quick. You can give me a quick answer, too.
Yeah.
Does this season's buyout market seem slimier than it seemed in the past? Like because
the CBA is the CBA.
It's just the fact that you're seeing guys who have
good players,
like $100 million contracts getting bought out and then going to teams for the league minimum. Like that, I don't think that's the intent of that. That has to be because like the Lakers are about to just like get all the
it looks their way, don't it?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all, bro.
No,
but yeah.
I'm not either. But that's the way it is now. When you got the aprons, when you got all these little things that they've kind of put in the CBA,
right?
You got to get off this money some type of way. And a lot of times you see in this situation, there's only one team that has cap space in the whole league. So everybody can't say, here, Brooklyn, take all our bad contracts.
Brooklyn, take everybody.
Like, they can't take everybody.
Something's got to happen, though, man, because you should not be able to get Bradley Beal for the league minimum or for $10. Like, no, bro. That shit.
Put out by Phoenix, and then who else? The Lakers go get him? Is that what you're saying?
Like, whoever he goes, it's not gonna be.
Right. Like, he might go to the Clippers.
The Clippers, right?
Yeah, because it just seems like, because I joked about last week on a conspiracy theory type tip. Like, how do we know the Lakers owner, who's a billionaire, and said, "Hey, how much y'all owe for him? Here's the money.
Throw some money on the table."
Yeah, like, how do we know, bro? Like, there's literally nothing stopping it. Like, it's giving like early '80s. Boston Celtics when they were literally buying guys from other teams. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like a modern way to do that. I'm not feeling it at all. But go ahead to the next question we got for Damichael, Ken.
Yeah, so I've seen people in our comment section say things like this Jock Lindell signing feels like it might be it for the roster in terms of the offseason. Do you agree with that? And if you don't agree with that, any players you believe the Grizzlies are targeting in free agency and trades and whatever?
I think if you talk about players that they're targeting, I think they could go get another big, but I don't think it's going to be someone that's going to make everyone jump and shout like hooray or anything like that. My belief since the season's ended is after the Zach Edey injury, when everyone was saying, oh, we got to go get another big, was that the Grizzlies really didn't have the same urgency with the big situation as an organization. And to them, it was more about the fits, right? And that's what we saw play out with Jay Huff. Like they traded a big to get another big instead of trading a wing or something like that to go get a big. And I'm quite frankly, I'm not even opposed to that. Like we just saw, I keep going back to it. We just saw a team win the championship that played two bigs. Like and there are other teams in the league that pretty much do the same thing. You just don't see a lot of teams playing as many bigs as the Grizzlies. And when I say bigs, I'll include Jaren, Zach Edey. Brandon Clark is undersized, but I think he's a big, based on playing style and how he plays. I wouldn't include Santi probably, but like he plays a front court role. But like the Grizzlies play more quote unquote bigs than other players. So honestly, if they're going out to get another big, when I say I don't think it'll be a big hooray or anything like that, I think it's probably going to be a guy on a two-way contract. I've thrown out, Armando Bacot is basically someone who's
Hey, mute his mic.
Man, look, I knew you were about to do this.
No, don't let him. Hey, don't let him finish.
You gotta let me finish.
Let him finish.
I'm just saying this is what I know now. Look, this is an audition for him in a way. It's not saying he's gonna get the spot.
Totally agree.
It very well could be based on the way he plays in summer league. It very well could be what we saw last summer, where Trey Jemison looked like he was going to be the two-way guy coming into the season. They said, never mind. Jay Huff, go find him off of another summer league roster. Him, remove Trey Jemison. It very well could be that type of situation. It's not a certainty, but right now, if you're saying who has the inside track as the next big, I think it's going to be a two-way spot. It ain't what you want to hear, man, but I'm telling you.
I agree. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you, Damichael. Listen, the world famous Bluff City Bloodline chat hates Armando Bacot. I don't get it.
Oh man, that's
I hate it, man.
I don't get it. They don't like his game. They don't like his game.
He rebounds and he's physical. Look,
you don't score 34 points and 25 rebounds in a G League game and be a bum. Like the dude can rebound. That's what he does.
I hear y'all. I hear you saying this is an audition, but it's giving William Hung on American Idol right now. Is that giving? Is that giving like, okay, this dude is a guy I want to like?
Okay, in the simplest form, man, you got to look at it like this. They already used.
I just don't think they take him serious, Michael. Like they literally, he was here all last year, did not get a two-way, played no minutes for the Grizzlies.
Right.
Like they had the Castleton kid ahead of him. Like I can't think that they really think that he's like a real prospect. Like show me when they thought he was for real. I think what's going to happen is what you said. They're going to find a Jay Huff on somebody else's summer league roster.
I just know Bacot is an option. That's what I'm saying. I ain't saying he's the guy.
There's no way he's going to be the guy.
He's an option though. but they have this. I feel confident in saying that they're going to try to get a two-way guy. I said it the other day on social media. Like Kenneth Lawton Jr. came in. He worked out. There were a couple other bigs they brought in for workouts as well. Or Armando Bacot and they're clearly looking for a big that they could probably stash on a two-way contract as like a depth option.
Yeah.
All right, I got two more questions for you. The chat's blowing up with questions. So listen, Damichael, we don't want to take up all your day, but I got a couple more questions for you. Yeah. Have you heard any updates on the assistant coaching search?
Yeah.
Because we did Jared Dudley, everybody's like, hell yeah, that's the perfect dude.
That's the dude that everybody wants. Yeah.
Where's he going now? He went to he just signed a contract to go to coach somewhere. I forget where it was.
Where did he go? I saw that too, but yeah, he's off the market.
He's off the market.
I still haven't gotten many names other than the ones that everybody's already heard at this point. But that's another thing. I think when I get out there, we'll really get more definitive answers. Everybody knows pretty much at this point about the Penny Collins addition,
right?
And
how did that relationship come about? Do you even? I mean, like,
he was teammates with Isolo.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, overseas. Yep.
2006, 2007.
Oh, that's wild.
And yeah. They played together, and you got to remember, Isolo is one of those coaches who has that plan. I mean, you can see in the pictures and all the pictures he takes with the players, he like side by side, with them. But he has that background as a player, so a lot of his relationships aren't just overseas coaches that he's made. He's played with guys who've made the ways in the coaching circles in America and overseas at this point. And Brian Penny Collins is a guy who's just really right up the street.
Right.
Has been coaching at TSU, for a few years now. To my understanding, he's not going to be like the lead guy. So
he's a bench coach.
I don't know.
Front bench coach, like front.
I don't know if he'll be front bench, but he left TSU. So
yeah,
that's a wild hire if he's a front bench coach.
For real though.
But Isolo's reshaping the staff, and I think I can 100% say that in the next week we'll have really solid intel there on what the rest of his staff is shaping up to be. But I have heard that they're not done though.
What about Adrian Griffin? He was a candidate at one time. Is he still?
I mean, I did hear that too, but I heard Adrian Griffin's name. I did hear Adrian Griffin's name.
Now I can see him being a lead.
That's the guy.
We can't do the other Penny, bro. Like little Penny.
we got
Pentavious. No, we straight on that. We straight.
Haven't heard anything too concrete on Adrian Griffin. Oh yeah,
Pendarius.
He said Pentavious.
No, we straight, bro. That's my guy. That's my dog.
No, hell yeah.
I ran into him, but now he can't be the lead assistant.
No. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of lead assistant, man, God bless his brother's soul, man. Hold on, I hate to say it. Let me get some water, man. Hey, y'all might get mad in the comments because y'all had weird attractions to G League shit, but hold on.
Oh man!
Oh
Here
God!
you go.
Jason Mars, you gotta get your ass about here, bro. I'm kind of tired of looking at Jason Mars, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Come on, man. He had 1 year.
Yeah, we gotta get you bro. That man been on the whole run. Hey, that man got too much. He got too much Taylor Jiggers juice on him, man. We gotta get that ass about it.
Jason Mars was here during the grit and grind days too.
I know, man. Get your ass on, man. It's time to roll on, bro. For real. Why nobody else don't want your ass, Jason Mars? You've been there for 10 years. Like.
He left after the grit and grind years and came back.
No,
talk to him, Damichael.
Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Get about it.
Been stuck in Memphis for 15 years.
Scram. Hey,
he went to like Sacramento or something and came back.
Been around there too long, man. Hey, cut it out. Scram. Let's roll.
Wild. All right, we got a ton of questions.
Come on.
I'm gonna ask you guys to do me a favor. We got a lot of these, like who's gonna be day one starting shooting guard, all that kind of stuff. Here's what I want y'all to do. Based on the roster that is right now, what's the starting lineup opening night, game one? Both of y'all give me your answers. What do you think?
I'll go first. I think it's going to be the same answer. I think the whole what position the shooting guard, who's the small forward, I think that Wells and KCP are going to be interchangeable those positions. I think it's not going to be like a solid 2, a solid 3. I think that's the point of what Kliman's trying to do with the interchangeable wings, where they're just wings. Like, who's the 2 and who's the 3 for the Thunder? Who's the 2, who's the 3 for the Pacers? I don't know. They just got a bunch of freaking wings out there. Like okay. I don't think we're as locked in to positions as we've been. Even when we had Marcus Smart here, and people were like, "Oh, why we got Marcus Smart at small forward?" Like, he's not a small forward, but he's your only primary defender, so he's gonna have to guard the best dude, regardless of what he says on the stat sheet or whatever. But that's me. But Michael might say something different.
I'm about to answer the question in a similar fashion, but you out here saying we got Michael Jordan and all that. You ain't even put Michael Jordan.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, how you not start Michael Jordan at the 2? How you not start Michael Jordan at the 2? I'm tripping. My bad, bro. My bad.
You said we got math ain't math. Now you said you got Michael Jordan, but you bringing Michael Jordan off the bench.
That's right.
Michael Jordan ain't ever came off the bench.
We got Pentavious Hardaway on the. On the bench.
I think game. See, the question says game one. Game one, I think is Kentavious Caldwell Pope and and Jaylen Wells is the guys, getting the minutes at shoot the wing spots.
Yeah.
I don't know. NBA really isn't shooting guard, small forward anymore. It's just
no,
wing.
it's not. It's just not.
So I think those are your two starting wings day one. But eventually, Cedric Coward should have something to say about that.
What do you think? You've seen a little bit of Cedric Coward.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Man, and I talked to a lot of people too, like Washington State, even a couple people Duke when they were recruiting him.
Right.
And you hear a lot of the same stuff, like those guys that have his makeup, 6'6" and 6'7", 7'2", 7'3" wingspan. You don't just go to an AAU tournament and just find those guys. Like it just ain't many of them. Now, when you add in the fact that there's some real skill there too, you're talking about a guy that shot 70% plus on 2-point field goals, the 3-point shooting efficiency, the confidence that he has. Say, I'm a great shooter, right? There's real game there, and if you want to nitpick a little bit because it's got to be something, right? It's got to be something because this is a guy who wasn't even confidently entering the draft. At first he threw his name in there. And we'll see what happens, but I'm probably going to go to Duke. And there's some growth that needs to happen as kind of a ball handler, right? And he's going to be put in those situations. But I remember that being the case with Desmond Bane. I remember that being the case with the Kawhi Leonard. I remember that being the case with Mikal Bridges. I'm just throwing names out there. I see you, Kitty, but look, I'm just saying he's going to have to grow into that role, and how he progresses as a ball handler eventually determines his ceiling. I think day one defensively, he's going to be a guy that gets on people's nerves because, quite frankly, what makes you gifted when you have a 7'3" wingspan is you don't have to have the best footwork defensively. Yeah. Like Mikal Bridges got it, and guys like Kawhi, they got it, but like Rui Hachimura doesn't, but he can still recover defensively and play solid defense. So I think day one he's going to be an impactful defender, but day one he's probably going to knock down some shots. But the eventual evolution of what he can be is give him the ball in pick and roll, give him the ball with the clock winding down, and can he go get a bucket and be that other guy other than Ja on the perimeter who says, get out of my way, I got this.
God bless.
Well, we joke about Cedric Coward and the whole Jordan comps, all those type of things.
Yeah,
I know it sounds crazy. We're comparing them to. But gentlemen, 27 years ago, Kenny Stubblefield, there was a tattoo shop to open up on Highland. And they were 24 hours. And nobody believed they would be the ghosts like they are right now, man. That's how people at Trilogy Tattoos over there on Highland, been there 27 years, check them out. The most dependable, long-time big dogs in the city when it come down to get your tattoos, man. About to make me go get a tattoo.
Let's go.
It ain't never had one in my life, man. I done brought the F-boy fade back. I'm about to go get tatted on y'all, man. Julian ain't at the house no more. I'm finna talk play this shit, bro. You know what I'm talking about. But check out our people at Trilogy Tattoos. Well, Damichael, we're going to get one more question for you. We're not going to do a third segment today. The whole show has been my guy, Damichael Cole. Damichael, appreciate you giving us this whole hour pretty much, man.
Sure.
Let's get one more question out for Damichael. Maybe we can get in too. Let's see what we got on this.
Well, I mean, everybody knows the biggest secret in the city is that you and Tomas Isolo have coffee every single day. Like, we know y'all sit down.
Tomas Isolo.
Y'all talk. You call him T.I.
Y'all got the same barber, all that type of stuff. It may be chopped.
That may be actually true, yeah. But let me ask you this. Do you see any differences already in TJ and TI's coaching philosophies and assistants usage? Just, I mean, you don't have to go that specific, but just what are some of the biggest differences you see already between Tomas Isolo and Taylor Jenkins?
Well, one, they're different types of communicators to a little bit degree. I think when I think of Taylor Jenkins was more into the energy, whereas Isolo is more, I think, a little bit more tactical, probably. He's less rah-rah, more let me show you, what I'm trying to communicate to you. I think that's probably one thing that stood out to me. Coaching philosophy-wise, the big usage is different. I think, with Taylor Jenkins, he was so big on spacing and maximizing that space for John Morant, whereas it seems like Islo is a little more big on like relocation principles and making sure that all of that space is being used properly instead of with guys just standing in spots to create open space for your star players. So that's just a couple minor things. I think there's still a lot to see with Islo because, quite frankly, at the end of last season, he wasn't really implementing a lot. He was just kind of, plugging a thing here, plugging a thing there. But let's kind of strengthen some of the weaknesses that we had. And he only had 9 games, so to speak. And we're going to see some of it sprinkled in Summer League. But you got to remember, these guys ain't getting the full training camp preseason. Yeah, so it's just going to be small dosages here. So we won't really get the full look until preseason, regular season of next season gets here. But I definitely think there are enough differences there between the two. But one thing I'll say I'm looking forward to seeing when you talk about assistant usage with Taylor Jenkins, he really relied on assistants a lot.
Clearly.
And to some people that was not, like his assistants, I mean, with player development, they had now in his defense from that strategy, that wasn't something that he just made up. Mike Budenholzer did the same thing when he had Darvin Ham, when he had Taylor Jenkins, I believe Quinn Snyder was another one. When all those guys were on the same staff in Atlanta, Mike Budenholzer did the same thing, and they had 4 All-Stars that year, right? So it's something that some other coaches have done, but at the same time, we call it KYP. You got to know your personnel. You don't got the coaching staff do those things. You need to adjust accordingly. But I want to see how much Isolo leans into his coaching staff to say, hey, you're primarily working with John Morant. You're primarily working with this group of wings. You're primarily working with the bigs. And what does that look like? And how much of a voice does he have in changing some of those things? Whereas Taylor Jenkins basically focused, it felt like, more on the day-to-day while letting those guys be more of the developmental guys with those players.
Yeah. There's a ton of questions about T.I.'s, like, just his strategies. Like, what are some of his schemes and executions going to be on the floor? Kind of the overall question, I think Black Ninja DJ asked, will Isolo's schemes be similar to Dagnall schemes? Heavy pick and roll, pressure perimeter D, et cetera, et cetera.
I think there are some similarities with Mark Dagnall. And again, this is something that you don't really have to tie directly just to Isolo. I think this is something like people really don't always understand how much of these things that are being emphasized are more organizational than just coaching staff. Organization gives you the identity, right? We want a team that's going to be tough. We want a team that's going to have switchable defenders. We want a team that's going to, be able to do some of those things that Black Ninja just mentioned. But yeah, I think there will be some similarities there. Pick and roll is definitely going to be something you see not just on the ball, but you're going to see some off the ball as well, especially when you got movement shooters. It's something that the Grizzlies have really identified over the last couple of years. Cam Spencer, Cedric Coward, Jaylen Wells. These are all guys who
even KCP. Even
Contavious Caldwell. He's done it, at a championship level.
Yeah.
These are all guys who are excellent movement shooters who can come off of a pin down and knock down 3-point shots like nobody's business. So I think those principles will be much more incorporated. Whereas I think a lot of time with Taylor Jenkins over the last 5 years, we saw a lot of read and react, which is most of the NBA for the most part. I mean, that's most of the league. When you see Luka-led teams, LeBron, James Harden teams, it's a lot of we're taking what the defense gives us. But at the same time, I felt like Taylor Jenkins was more, we want threes, we want paint scoring opportunities. And I remember towards the end of the season, we were talking to Isolo about that, and he's not as opposed to the mid-range shot as
I love that.
Like
I've seen all them interviews about guys.
He's fine with guys. In his mind, it's like, hey, if that's what the defense is giving us, we're gonna take it. Whereas Taylor Jenkins was more, we want threes. We want shots at the basket. Now, who's to say which one is right? Because at the same time, Boston won a championship saying we want threes. We want shots at the basket. But we just seen OKC win a championship with a whole lot of mid-range shots incorporated in there. So, and they weren't a great three-point shooting team.
For sure.
So it's more about your personnel. But, yeah, I do think at the end of the day, East Low stuff is going to look different.
Man, I'm excited, bro. I think this year is going to be – I think we're going to have a real sneaky good season. Like I said, we lost the top-end talent in Desmond Bane. But I think the strategy we have, the personnel we have is more conducive to today's winning formula. And like I said, when you got those – this is the first time since – I was thinking, man, outside of Mike Conley and Dylan Brooks rookie year, I can't remember a time when we had 2 point of attack defenders in our starting lineup. I'm thinking like Tony Allen, Tayshaun Prince, bro. Like it's been a long time since we've had multiple.
But that's what championship teams have.
Yeah, you have to have that, bro.
Yes.
But Desmond Bane was a great player, phenomenal player, but he just didn't fit. He fits better with the guard that's in Orlando. I can't think of his name right now.
Jalen Suggs.
He fits better with a Jalen Suggs than he would a John Morant. Right. And like I said, if John's your point guard and Jaren's your 4, you have to have the ability to have multiple defenders on the court, man. And we've never had that.
You did it. And that's the vision that the Grizzlies are going towards. So you understand like what they're trying to do. Like, and nobody's really talking about this a lot. And this is a thing I've been talking to some people about too. It's like, I mean, we'll see if it actually happens. At the end of the day, everything boils down to John Morant playing 70 games or whatever.
Facts, but he got to go for the 70. Hell yeah.
If Ja is out there 70 games,
bro, it's crazy.
Why can't he average 27, 28 points this year?
Yes, he gonna go crazy.
John Morant, people look at basketball too much as a math equation. Like, oh, Desmond Bane, you're losing all these shots. I don't care as much because to me, that means the ball's going to be in John Morant's hands even more. And if you've watched John Morant, if you've listened to John Morant as much as we have, you know that a lot of times John Morant would defer to Desmond Bane.
Yes.
Because he's not selfish. Because he says, I'm a pass-first guy. Because he knows Desmond Bane got the goods. Desmond Bane can hoop. So I'm not going to be too selfish in that regard. Whereas now, Ja, you gotta be. You gotta score.
It's on you. It's on you.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what raised my antenna as we wrap up the show. When I saw that Nike ad with the pigeons and shit, Ja about to go crazy this year. Like I'm sure they had the conversation like, Ja, you ain't been an all-star in 3 years. You know what I mean? You ain't been all NBA.
It's time. It's time for him.
We got playoff shoes we want to sell that we got to put on sale for $70 now. Since you ain't playing no more, you know what I mean? Like, we want you to be playing in the playoffs so we can move these shoes, man. So, I'm sure that they've had those conversations. And Ja, I think Ja's going to be more locked in this season. And hopefully his body can cooperate with his mind for sure.
For sure.
But, Damichael, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's always a great show whenever you come on. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. After the show, man, make sure y'all getting your likes in now on the live stream. But as soon as the show ends, go over to the regular comment section, comment. Help us run the numbers up on this joint, man. We appreciate all y'all for tuning in. For Kenny Stubblefield and my guy, Damichael Cole, this is Anthony Sain. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.